Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Corn Star. Today we are going to be working in the shop because we got a foot of snow. Shops and garages are one of those things that are the equivalent of a junk drawer. Everybody has a junk drawer, so I know what I'm talking about. They're impossible to keep clean. No matter what you do, they just build up with more stuff. And so it is a constant upkeep in order to keep things clean. And unfortunately, we have not cleaned our shop in like 6 months. So it needs it bad. And not only is the shop dirty, so is all of our equipment in here. We went straight from a month of harvest into a month of tiling, and nothing has been cleaned since, and things have been muddy. So we're just gonna kind of start up here in the front of the shop, and we're gonna start cleaning up the shop, we're gonna start cleaning up equipment, and we're gonna work our way from the front to the back. For item number 1, I'm gonna start with my truck. I think I've driven this thing twice since September. My family has been stealing it in the meantime, and this thing is absolutely filthy in the bed, and it's filthy inside of the cab, and I want it to be clean. Whoever invented this push button on the back of this truck, oh, come on. There we go. Thank you. It's handy. You don't have to pull the thing. Why is there a trash can with 2 diesel fuel filters in the back of the truck with diesel fuel still inside of the filters and a pair of gloves? I'm not exaggerating either. That liquid is diesel fuel, and these appear to be fuel filters off of the Challenger. I feel like we have super random stuff in the back of this truck right now. There's golf clubs, a ladder that I don't even know where that came from, a rake, 5 gallons of diesel. Is this window cleaner? It might be. A target, a steel pole, yeah, random stuff. We have been looking for these pliers for the last month, and they've been hiding in here. That is good to know. I wonder if I can put that diesel fuel in the skid loader. Let's see what we got in here. And, oh yeah, it'll fit. We're at like a quarter tank. I feel like if you're not careful, cleaning the shop can turn into an all-day event. Don't get me wrong, if you've never cleaned your shop before, it's gonna probably take you weeks, if not months, if not years, if not, you may never get it clean. But I've been trying to be pretty serious about keeping our shop somewhat clean over the years and giving things homes. So I'm hoping I can turn this into just a few-hour event instead of having it take several days. And oh my goodness, I'm spilling all over. That is not convenient. Why does it feel like this thing is not getting any lighter? Empty. Not perfect, but it is a lot better. I think since it is winter time, I am going to leave this chain in here. And actually, I'm gonna make sure that we got 2 ends on this chain. Yes, we do. Because for whatever reason, on like half the chains we own, there is only 1 hooked end. All right. Let's see what we got on the inside. Back seat does not look terrible. Looks like we had something sticky spill right there. Then how about the front? Also, not that bad. Okay, we can deal with this. Whenever I am cleaning out a vehicle or a piece of equipment, I always start by removing the trash. So I just bring the trash can right here. In this case, my trash box. Tractor House magazine from 4 months ago? Yep, don't need that. Cap to some sort of aerosol can that is not located inside the vehicle. A box within a box that has a bungee strap on the inside. We will use this at some point. This goes on the back shelf. Okay, more trash. Ooh, this is a notebook. Notebooks are handy. I might keep that around. Why did I write 48 divided by 4? Car magazine. Oh, hey, another Tractor House. This one is from 3 months ago. 3 pieces of toilet paper. Broken tripod. What does this wire harness go to? I don't know, but it's not trash. We're not gonna deal with it right this second. That is this spot. Done. When it comes to keeping a vehicle tidy, it's not really in my nature for vehicles. I like it in shops and buildings, but I always want to think, well, what if I'm driving by a train wreck in the middle of Alaska and I need this water bottle with this much water in it because, I don't know, for whatever reason. And then I will keep this water bottle, and then I'll keep this piece of paper, and then I'll have a whole thing of paper clips in the glove compartment, and yada, yada, yada. And then I realize I live 1,500 miles away from Alaska. It's not gonna happen. So just clean out your vehicle, Cole. Ooh, we might have found some more significant stuff to throw away. Got some paper in here weighing down the truck, affecting the fuel economy. Last but not least, I got a wet rag, and I'm just gonna wipe down this sticky spot here on the floor and get this thing gone. Now don't get me wrong, this is a farm truck, so there is gonna be some dirt on the floor, things are gonna get dusty, things are gonna get muddy. I don't really mind that. What I do mind is clutter. I like it to be nice and clean, so that way when you get in and you're working and you're bringing tools, it's just the tools that you brought. You're not digging through everything else that's in the back or the front seat. And the exact same thing applies to the bed. I now have a little problem. I want to move the black truck over here where the skid loader is, but I cannot move the black truck over here because there is a massive snow drift that's like 3 feet deep right out there, so I can't get the truck around this corner to get it into the door. So that means I need to get the skid loader out to clear that snow out of the way, but the problem is I don't want to push any snow with the skid loader until I get all of this mud power washed off of the skid loader, so that way when we get this thing covered with snow later, we don't have a huge muddy mess sitting here in the shop as all of this mud is falling off onto the ground with the snow. So we're gonna start by power washing the skid loader. And before I do any power washing, I need to clean out this cab. I'd like to think that a lot of the mess that comes inside of equipment comes from water bottles, tools, and mud that's stuck to our feet. And that is true, it is a majority of it. But probably about 25% of what we find in equipment and vehicles is clothing. There are 2 forks in the skid loader. Ball peen hammer, crescent wrench, adjustable wrench, 1 right-handed glove, bent hitch pin. What else do we got in here? A pair of pliers. Oh, and look at this. A tire pressure gauge. Got a giant washer, and the rest looks like mud, which we will vacuum out. Oh yeah, we're gonna get this thing so clean. Cleaning all of this dirt off of the skid loader may seem pretty insignificant, but it is a nice quality of life thing having it done, because if we have mud on the machine, especially inside the bucket, will stay wet for days if we go out and push snow and just leave it sitting here in the shop. Where if we clean all of the dirt out of it, when we come back in here with a nice clean bucket, all we have to do is tip it down, and we have a heated floor in here, and within probably 4 hours, the bucket will be completely dry and all the snow will be gone. Overnight, we got about 8 inches of snow, and then it snowed about 5 inches during the day today. And now the wind is starting to pick up, and it's really pretty to look at, but not a lot of fun to work in. We're not gonna be messing around with the baby power washer tips. We're gonna be running the red one first, which is a 0 degree to get all of the mud off, and then we will come back with a 15 degree to clean everything else off. I'd take you out there with me to power wash off the skid loader, but you're gonna get covered in snow, it's gonna turn to water, and then you won't be able to see anything, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it that I'm power washing. Skid loader is clean. It's gonna be hard to keep it from fogging up inside of here right now, but I need to push this snow drift out of the way, and then I'll be able to get the truck out and flip the skid loader and the truck around in the shop. We have pushed ourselves a path, and before we bring the black truck over here, a few months ago, we had something drip on the floor right here, and it left kind of this residue. So before we bring the truck over here, well, I got this area cleaned up. I'm just gonna get some soap and water and a broom, and I'm gonna get this all scrubbed down and cleaned up. So that way this residue, whatever in the world it is gone. I wanted to get the skid loader over on this side because we have a drain along the wall. The floor is actually sloped slightly so that way the water runs over here. And when this thing is completely covered with snow, it drops a lot of water off. So when we have it right by the drain, it makes a whole lot less mess in the rest of the shop. And this is what the skid loader looks like after pushing snow for maybe 10 minutes. So when you're out there for a few hours, you get way more snow on it. When we come back in the morning, this will be completely dry. And since we got everything power washed up and got all the mud off, it should be clean as well. They're talking 40-mile-per-hour winds tonight. Who knows, it might get bad enough. We might need to tie a rope from the big machine shed to the house, so that way we can find it. It's now the next morning. Take a look at the skid loader. See, completely dry. No more snow on it. Power washing it may have been annoying last night, but it makes everything nice and dry, which is what we want. We ended up getting about a foot of snow yesterday, I would say. It's a little hard to tell because it got windy, but because it got windy, this much snow turned into like this much snow in certain areas where the wind kind of funneled through. And so right now, the driveway is impossible to get down with a car, and I don't think you'd get down it with a truck either. So priority number one right now is going to be getting the driveway cleared out. And we do have the skid loader bucket on the skid loader right now, but I'm gonna go over to the farm and I'm going to try to get the snowblower hooked up because that is going to be a lot faster. But before I can go get the snowblower hooked up, we're gonna have to clear a path with the skid loader bucket. By the way, pro tip, if you store your equipment inside of a heated area and you start plowing snow right away, your bucket will be warm and then you'll have a nice little layer of slush on the inside of your bucket that will freeze, so then your bucket capacity goes down and you won't be able to get that snow out until you bring it back into the heat. Where if you bring it out into the cold and you let it sit and you let your bucket freeze, then if you go push snow, you don't get a whole bunch of snow getting stuck inside of your bucket. So that's exactly what we are doing right now. I like to call this process freezing the bucket. And so while we wait for the bucket to freeze, I'm gonna grab the shovels, which I've had sitting outside for a while as well, and I'm gonna start doing all of the hand shoveling around the walk-in doors as well as the overhead doors. I have a feeling that this snow is going to be pretty messy for removal. We only had 2 days of light freezing before we got the snow, and the stuff that is touching the ground is pretty much a slushy, melted mess, and it appears we have mud underneath of that. So, when we are pushing into the snow with the skid loader, and it's muddy underneath, you gouge a lot. So we're gonna have to be careful. First path going down the driveway, it appears it's about 2 feet deep for most of the drive. Oh, looks like we already got the snowmobiles out. Do a flip. I just about got ripped off the bed. Good thing I had my feet hooked. Woo! Yeah, you need 2 hands for this. snowmobiling is so fun. We just have not been getting the snows for a really long time to be able to ride them around here. I think I sold my snowmobile 10 years ago, and that is the first time I've been on a fun one, I'll call it, since. Back to work! We need to get this driveway cleaned out. I now have a little bit of a dilemma. I got in front of all the doors all cleaned up. Actually, I got more than in front of the doors. I got the top garage all cleaned out. We can get a car out of here. I even got the trailer dug out. But the snowplow has not gone by on the main road yet, so I cannot get the truck and trailer over to where the snowblower is yet. So I'm just gonna get everything hooked up, and hopefully, in that time, the snowplow goes by. I'm also gonna try to do something that may be silly, which is trying to drive the Colorado out of the snowdrift that it is encased in. The skid loader is loaded. I do not think the plow has gone by yet, but I'm gonna give it a try because it's supposed to be dark in about an hour, and I would prefer to try to get this snowblower on while it's still light out. So we're gonna see what we can get into. Hopefully it's no snow on the road. Hopefully it just all blew off. We are not off to a very good start so far. This flat area of the driveway has like 8 inches on it, and this is usually pretty much clear. Once we get up on that hill up by that house, that's where it gets pretty deep. Well, maybe this was a bad idea. You see my skid marks right here. I stopped up there and it skidded with my brakes locked all the way to here. And I think the only reason why I stopped was because of the back of my trailer hit this snowbank on the side. I'm gonna try to get the skid loader unloaded, and we're gonna try to get out of this pickle. I'm just glad I went straight back instead of going jackknifed, because there's nothing I could do. Driving right now might not be the best idea. This is where I just slid, and check this out. Whee! Very slippery. Very, very slippery. That's like ice, but in snow form, which is strange. I got the skid loader loaded up on the trailer. I am now on the main road. I am driving in other people's prior tracks, and as long as I'm not too silly and dorking around, I think I should be able to make it. If I do see a spot coming that I think could be questionable, I'm just gonna stop while I know that I'm safe, and I'm gonna unload the skid loader, and then I'll just go plow out in my spot, and then I'll drive the truck through it just to make sure that we make it through. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do right here. Perfect timing. It's a little bit socked out, so it's hard to tell, but that looks pretty deep through there. Yeah, I'd say I made a pretty good decision. Okay, let's see if we can make it through now. I'm probably gonna for sure have one more spot just like this over this hill that'll need to scoop out the same way, but I'm hoping after that we should be pretty clear to be able to make it over to the snowblower. Oh, here we go. I should probably stop and get the skid loader and push, but that's not as fun as what we're about to try to do. Come on, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. We're making it through. Once we get over this hill, we should be good. Oh, big drift right here. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, I think we should be good now. I'm not really that concerned if I get stuck in the middle of the road because I know I can dig myself out. It's just more annoying because it takes a while to get a truck unstuck. The biggest concern I really have is if you get stuck in the middle of the road and then the snowplow comes, then all your neighbors are mad at you because the snowplow had to turn around and go a different way because you decided to get stuck in the middle of the road. This is the building where the snowblower is. We have a massive snowdrift in the front, so before we open the doors, we need to move this snow. Want to be very careful not to hit the side of the building either. That would be annoying. And expensive. Unfortunately, the sprayer is just a little bit too close to the snow blower, so I'm not going to be able to get in here with the skid loader. So I'm going to try to take something and tie it to the side of the snow blower and see if I can drag it back a little bit, and then hopefully I'll be able to get the skid loader up here to get hooked up to this. Snowblower is officially on. So in my family, my dad absolutely hates pushing snow. He hates it so much, he will literally clear a spot big enough to get a singular vehicle down, and then that is all the snow removal that he will do. And that makes it really hard to get equipment out. So then that puts snow removal on my brother and I. And you will spend a whole day when you get a snow like what we just got pushing with the skid loader buckets. So 3 years ago, we ended up picking up this snowblower. We didn't get to use it last year because we really didn't get any snow. So here we are this year. This is our second year actually using it. And this is a 7-foot wide snowblower. I don't know a lot about snowblowers on skid loaders, but with this one, I do know if you are gonna put one on a skid loader, you need to make sure that the hydraulic pump on the snowblower matches up to what is on the skid loader. This particular skid loader has high flow on it, so we can really get this thing moving, and I can probably shoot snow from the snowblower just about to the edge of that cornfield over there. It can really huck it if the snow's in the right condition. Let's see if I can remember how to run this thing. I know I need to hit the saw blade right here. This is the high flow. And I think I need to press one of the buttons here, but I'm gonna need both hands to figure it out. If I remember right, there should be a button right here. I think you press that one. That should kick on our hydraulics. Yes, it did. And then I think I moved this one, or maybe it's one of these ones over here. I should be able to move that spout. There we go. Then I can direct my snow. I should also be able to move that top one. I gotta remember, whoop, turned it a little far there. I don't remember how to turn the top one. Oh, there we go. Got a trigger button back here. Man, we're about using all the buttons on the joysticks. We'll get it figured out. Check this out. We can hit the grain bins from here. Oh, looks like I'm grabbing a little grass. I should probably tip it up a little bit. I have a bad feeling that the entire driveway over at my house is at least a foot deep. We're about to find out. But up there by that trailer, yeah, that looks pretty deep. Unfortunately, I was right. There is a lot of snow through here. That's at least a foot deep, and there is like a 2-foot deep drift all the way through this entire center area, and we need to get all of this cleared out so that way we can continue to work on the house. The driveway is actually so deep right now, I had to park my truck up there on the road, so I'm gonna try to clear off a spot here so that way I can get the truck in, and then we definitely have our work cut out for us to try to get a working area opened up. The whole main driveway opened up, so at least we can get in and out of here now. I also got a path opened up to the dryer shack, so if we need to get into some heat, we can get back there with our vehicles. And then I also got this little path right here that goes in front of the fuel barrels all opened up. I was not able to get in front of the heated shop. With the way the wind's blowing right now, it all blows back on me in the cab, and then it sticks to my window, and then it fogs up, and I cannot see at all. So I'll just have to get that later, or maybe I'll have to get the bucket on. And then over there, I got opened up as good as I could. I'm still not 100% certain if the snowplow has gone by or not, but at least I have the snowblower on now, so if I need to clear a spot going down the road, I'll just pull the skid loader off the trailer. I made it all the way home, and then I got stuck in the bottom of the driveway. The reason why I like running the snowblower so much is because it leaves no piles. It blows it way over to the side, so that's about as big of a pile as we get. So then when we get wind later, now we don't have something that will drift off the backside of. If we were using the skid loader bucket, we would have piles probably bigger than 2 of those vans just sitting right here alone. So if you get a little breeze coming through, then now you have an 8-foot drift coming through. Where with the snowblower, we just get it all out of the way. Although I will say this, running the snowblower is one of those jobs where it's fun for about 15 minutes. And then once you realize you have like 5 more hours of it to go, it's not the most entertaining, but it is important. Unfortunately, we ended up getting darked out and it's starting to get really cold. So I'm just gonna call it a night here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.